Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more emotional, cinematic, real-life inspired stories. Stories that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Stories that make you feel, remember, and reflect. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts. Now let's begin. Arya Lawson believed she understood the rhythm of her marriage the way a person understands their own heartbeat. Steady, familiar, always there, quietly anchoring them. For most of her marriage, she never doubted its strength. She trusted it the way Oregon trusted the gentle return of spring after every long winter. It wasn't dramatic or explosive. It was dependable, soft, safe. But lately, something in that rhythm felt off. It wasn't a dramatic shift. Not a storm. Not a fight. Not a betrayal. Just a quiet, unsettling drift. A subtle change. So small you could almost convince yourself it wasn't real. Almost. Their quiet suburban neighborhood still looked the same. Tall pines whispering through the early morning breeze, the faint scent of rain lingering on the porch, children's laughter echoing distantly as school buses rolled by. But their home didn't feel like the same place anymore. It hadn't for months. It started in small moments. Moments that were easy to overlook if someone wanted to. Moments so fragile they almost felt imaginary. The way Noah paused before answering her, as if searching for the right words, but always coming up empty. The way he smiled, but the smile didn't crawl all the way to his eyes anymore. The way he reached for her hand, not with intention, not with warmth, but with habit. Automatic. Mechanical. Their routines stayed intact. Bills paid. Meals prepared. Conversations kept polite and surface level. On the outside, their marriage still looked picture perfect. But Arya felt the truth pressing in on her from the inside. A distance she couldn't name. A hollowness she couldn't fill. A growing space between them that felt less like a misunderstanding, and more like a quiet grief. It wasn't that Noah was angry. He wasn't frustrated. He wasn't cold. If anything, he had become softer. Too soft. Like a man holding a secret so fragile, he was afraid his own voice might break it. Every time Arya caught him watching her, she saw something in his eyes. Something like longing, mixed with fear, mixed with hope, mixed with something she couldn't decipher. What was he waiting for? What was he wishing for? What was he afraid she wouldn't understand? Arya asked herself these questions every night while washing dishes, staring at reflections of herself in the dark window, wondering when her marriage had become a stranger to her. Every night she whispered to herself, maybe this is normal. Maybe this is just a phase. Maybe every marriage cools down. Maybe things will go back to how they were. But deep down, in the parts of her heart that didn't lie, she feared the truth. She was scared to ask him what he felt. Because what if she couldn't handle the answer? While Arya tried to suppress the growing ache in her chest, Noah battled one of his own. For months, he felt something inside himself tightening. A tension he didn't know how to unravel. A heaviness he carried each time he looked at Arya and remembered how they once were. He wasn't angry at her. He wasn't disappointed. He wasn't thinking of leaving. He was mourning. Mourning the version of their relationship that used to be alive. Mourning the closeness that had slowly slipped through their fingers without either of them noticing. Their silence, once peaceful, had become a wall. A quiet wall, yes, but a wall nonetheless. And Noah didn't know how to climb it. Then came the night everything shifted. A cold October evening. A sky painted steel gray. Clouds heavy with the promise of winter. Rain falling in relentless sheets against the windows. The kind of night where the world feels muted, suspended, waiting for something to happen. Inside their home, a warm lamp glowed softly. A small oasis against the storm. Arya sat on the couch, legs tucked under her, holding a magazine she hadn't turned a page of in the last 20 minutes. Her mind was elsewhere. Far away. Too heavy for reading. Across the room, Noah stood beside the window, watching the rain streak down the glass. He looked like a man on the edge of a decision. The silence between them was thick. Too loud for comfort. Too soft to break. When Arya finally looked up, she found Noah already watching her. But something was different. He wasn't distant. He wasn't lost. He wasn't searching for words. He looked resolved. The intensity in his eyes made her sit up straighter, as if her body responded to something her mind hadn't caught up to yet. Noah walked toward her, each step slow but certain. He sat down beside her, close enough that she felt the warmth radiating off him, a warmth she had missed more than she'd ever admit out loud. He reached for her hand. His fingers trembled. Noah never trembled. "Arya," he said, his voice low, steady, but carrying a weight she'd never heard before. "There's something I've been needing to tell you." Her heart lurched. The storm outside rumbled. Raindrops hammered against the window like impatient fingers. Arya felt the air change. She felt the moment settle between them, tense and fragile. Noah held her gaze. "I've been carrying a wish," he said softly. "A wish I haven't known how to say out loud." Arya's chest tightened. A wish. Not a complaint. Not a confession. Not a blame. A wish. Noah swallowed, eyes bright with vulnerability. "I miss us," he whispered. "I miss the version of us that felt alive. The version that talked for hours about everything. The version that laughed without keeping score. The version that trusted without hesitation." His voice cracked slightly, only once. "I want us back, Arya. I want to find our way back to each other. I want to choose you again, like the very first day I fell in love with you." Her breath hitched. The words didn't shatter her. They healed something inside her that she didn't even know was wounded. Tears stung her eyes. She felt her heart soften, melt open. "I miss you too," she whispered. And as soon as the words left her lips, it felt like the house itself exhaled. Their fingers intertwined naturally. Their shoulders touched. Warmth filled the silence where emptiness once lived. For the first time in months, hope bloomed between them. Just as the air warmed. Just as their hearts aligned. A loud, sharp knock echoed through the house. Bam, bam, bam. Arya flinched. Noah stiffened. The storm outside intensified sharply, as if responding to the intrusion. Wind howled against the walls. Rain slammed against the windows. No one visited them at this hour. Especially not in weather like this. The knock came again, louder, more urgent. Arya's pulse quickened. Noah's jaw tightened. The fragile moment between them shattered. They exchanged a glance. A mixture of confusion, unease, and instinctive dread. Arya rose first, her steps tentative. Noah followed, close behind her, his presence protective, alert. The house felt suddenly colder. The shadows longer. The storm louder. Arya's emotions were still tangled from Noah's confession. Her heart wasn't ready for another jolt. But the knocking. It refused to stop. Her hand hovered over the doorknob, trembling slightly. She swallowed. In that suspended moment, in that breath of silence before the door opened, Arya felt something deep in her chest. A certainty. A warning. A shift. Whatever waited on the other side would change their night. And their marriage. Forever.